Alright, so I'm sure many of you know about the whole Apple Epic dispute, but if you guys don't know about it somehow, like, I actually don't know how you wouldn't know. It's literally fucking everywhere right now. But basically, Apple removed Fortnite from the App Store, because if you didn't know, Epic lowered the price of V-Bucks in Fortnite by 20%, and then directly allowed anyone on any platform to directly purchase V-Bucks through them, which kind of pissed Apple off, because it eliminated them as a middleman, and they didn't get their 30% cut, which was basically the amount they take of any kind of revenue made through any app purchase, or any, you know, any kind of purchase made on the App Store in general. So then Apple's immediate response was to remove Fortnite from the App Store. Then that provoked a reaction from Epic, which ended up resulting in a legal battle, which started on Monday, August 24th, which was actually live broadcasted on Zoom. Like, the court case is actually broadcasted on Zoom, and people were live streaming it to YouTube and stuff, which, props to all the people who did that, because I'm sure they got fined or something. I don't know, because I'm sure that's some kind of legal something. I don't know. It's the U.S. government. Who the fuck knows? But anyways, leading up to the court case, a few things happened, actually, which included stuff like Microsoft coming out in support of Epic, which honestly really isn't that surprising, because their Project xCloud, which is basically just kind of like their own version of Google Stadia, I guess, wasn't allowed to be on the App Store, which I kind of found really dumb, because, you know, it's like it's a fucking game streaming thing. Like, you're allowed to have a PlayStation game streaming app on there. You're not allowed to have like a game streaming app on there that's just for any kind of thing in general. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense for me. It probably has something to do with money or something. I don't know. It's late and I don't feel like I was fucking researching that. Wow, that was a good ass burp. But also, Apple tried restricting Epic's access to their developer accounts and stuff, and all their, I don't know, special coding stuff to code the Unreal Engine for Apple devices. I don't really know the technical terms of all of it, but basically what that means is that Epic wouldn't only be allowed to not develop Fortnite for Apple devices, but they also wouldn't be able to develop Unreal Engine, which isn't only for Fortnite, but it actually, like, is the engine that a fuckload of games run on, especially on mobile devices. Like, there's way too many to list, but I can probably guarantee you that you've started up a game on your phone and it said Unreal Engine in the start menu. Like, there's no way that it hasn't happened yet. There's such a metric fuckload of games that run on Epic's Unreal Engine. There's way too many to list. But then getting into whenever the court case actually happened on Monday, basically what the judge decided in the end was that Epic would be allowed to develop the Unreal Engine, like, to benefit everyone else using the Unreal Engine on the App Store, which I really didn't understand why Apple threatened to take away Epic's development of Unreal Engine, like, on iOS devices and macOS devices in general, because that's basically shooting themselves in the foot, because that's getting rid of games that, you know, are on the App Store and they obviously profit off of. But, you know, to each their own, I guess Apple kind of, you know, wanted to make a point, which doesn't really make any fucking sense to me, but I don't know. Apple's weird. But then there's also going to be a second court hearing September 28th, or at least that's what Slasher tweeted out. I don't know. I really wasn't paying attention to the live stream. I was at work, so I didn't get to see much of it. But once the second court hearing goes through and everything is said and done, I feel like Apple's definitely going to win this one, because, I mean, it's their platform, so they get to ultimately choose what gets done on it and what kind of revenue cuts they get and what kind of apps get put on it, because, I mean, it's their platform. They can do whatever they want. But it's kind of interesting now that Microsoft joined Epic's side, because if by some miracle Epic actually wins this with Microsoft's help, and if anyone actually joins in on them, then the App Store could actually change completely, because currently, right now, obviously the revenue cut that Apple takes from you is 30%, and they're not just going to lower it on their own. Like, they're going to have to be told by a judge or something. But companies like Spotify and Facebook have actually complained about this before, and an interesting thing is that Amazon actually has it lower than 30%, and I'm not exactly sure on the number of that, but all I know is that Amazon actually got their 30% cut lowered by Apple themselves. So there have been exceptions made for other companies, which, if you look at it, is kind of unfair. Now, I don't really know about, like, business and all that, and if, like, it makes sense to lower Amazon's, or if it's just because Apple and Amazon run, like, the cahoots or some shit. I don't fucking know about the business world, but it just seems kind of fucking unfair to, like, legit every other company that runs on the App Store, especially because of how big and how much money Amazon makes. But I guess we're not really gonna know anything until September 28th when that second court hearing happens, when everything comes to a head, because for now, that's all we really know. That's all that's gonna happen. So until then, Fortnite is gonna be off the App Store, and yeah, I mean, Epic's gonna be allowed to develop the Unreal Engine, but that's about it. I mean, people who have Fortnite downloaded on their phones right now, or any kind of iOS device, are basically just fucked, because, I mean, whenever Epic updates Fortnite in, like, the next week, because I think they still do weekly updates. I mean, I haven't played Fortnite in, like, a long time, but whenever they start updating it, I mean, they're not gonna be able to play it. They're gonna be behind, because Epic physically cannot update it through the App Store anymore, because it doesn't exist in the App Store. So, I mean, right now, Fortnite Mobile is pretty questionable, because it got removed from from the Google Play Store as well. And who knows about the Google Play Store, because the Google Play Store isn't even owned by Apple. It's owned by, Google. So if Fortnite's ever allowed back on the App Store, that doesn't fully mean that it's going to be allowed back on the Google Play Store. Now, I can imagine if Apple gets their way and it's allowed back on their platform, that it'll be something of the sorts that Epic will put it back on the Google Play Store, and they'll also listen to Google because, they don't want a whole other legal battle to pay for, I can imagine. But again, we really don't know anything until that second court hearing and all this court stuff is done and all the legal stuff is done. So until then, I guess I'll keep my eye on it and I'll update you guys whenever I know about it, if you guys want me to update you about it. But until then, I will probably be tweeting something about it on Twitter. So again, follow me on Twitter at CharredIsWild right now, because if you don't, then I am actually going to jump through your fucking screen.
I like insects burning out inside my Mercedes, so reminiscent of the times that I would call you my baby. The autumn leaves, they fall from trees just like our feelings, they change.